Hello, and welcome back to Funnelheads. My name is Andrew, and today we're going to be discussing our top 5 loves, likes, and dislikes for the Carnival Elation, which we recently just got off of a 5-night cruise on this beautiful ship, visiting Nassau, Bahamas, as well as Carnival's private island, Half Moon Cay, or Key, however you want to say it. Now, before we get into all this, real quick, if you are new to the channel or returning, you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. We actually have over 93% of our current viewers are not yet subscribed, and it does help the channel tremendously, so go ahead and support your small content creators. We really appreciate it. Also, liking the video and sharing with family and friends is much appreciated, but let's get right into today's video. Alright, so let's discuss the Carnival Elation, starting off with number 1 on the love side. These are in no particular order, of course, is going to be the overall size of the ship. If you know us, if you watch any of our videos, we love the mid-size to smaller cruise ships, which is insane to say because if you're a first-time cruiser, you're going to think any ship is gigantic, but that's just not the case anymore when you compare, especially the Elation or the Fantasy class ships to some of the larger Carnival ships like in the XL class or even, Royal Caribbean ships. It is going to be teeny tiny, and if you see other ships, either at your home port before you leave or while you're docked at one of your destinations, you are going to realize real quick just how small this ship is. However, we absolutely love this size ship because of what you get. Now, you're not going to get all the bells and whistles that some of the newer, larger ships have, but what you get in return is much more valuable to us, and that is just a more personable experience, not only with the crew, but also the other guests as well. And I'll give you an example for each of them. Now, with the crew on some of the larger ships, of course, they're working tremendously hard and smiling all in the process, providing wonderful customer service, but in all honesty, they're just trying to get to the next guest, either behind you or to the side of you, and they really don't have time to interact. But on the smaller to mid-sized class ships like the Elation, you're gonna get that more personable experience. You'll be able to, talk to them a little bit, joke around, maybe share stories, become friends. It's just such a more wonderful experience in our opinion. Not only that, but also with the guests as well, because of course, like I said, the larger size ship, it just has more venues, more areas that people can be, and you may not even see, a person the entire cruise because they're that large. Whereas the smaller size ships like the Elation, there's only so many places a person could be, so you're typically seeing people, twice, 3, 4 times a day. And if you're like us, you love connecting with other people, starting as strangers, becoming friends at the end. We've made lifelong friends, from cruises. And of course, me and Michelle met on a cruise. So we are all for connecting with other people. So we love the size of the Elation. Now moving on to number 1 on the like side, and this is going to be the main dining room food. Now we're going to be doing a detailed video of this in the near future of all of the changes, but they did go through a new menu here recently within like the last year, and we actually just had it for the first time. Even though we cruised kind of while it was rolling out, it wasn't yet on I think it was the Pride that we were on last time, where they didn't have it. But we really enjoyed the main dining room food overall. It came out quick, was hot. There was really only maybe 1 or 2 dishes that I wouldn't order again that we just didn't really enjoy, but it definitely was worth trying. everything. And overall, I think they did a terrific job. Not only that, they kept a decent amount of fan favorite dishes, but kind of put like a little spin on them, which we really enjoyed. Now, I will say that we got really used to the old Carnival menu, so even though we did enjoy the food for the most part on the old menu, I think we kind of got a little bit bored. So having these new choices might have impaired our judgment a little bit. So we'll have to see on our next Carnival cruise, the Carnival Venecia, if we still agree with that. Of course, the food is going to, differ from ship to ship. Not as far as the plates for the most part, except for, depending on if you have a longer itinerary. But, just the people making it, of course, they'll all have different chefs, different crew members preparing. So it is going to be a little bit different from ship to ship. Now moving on to dislike number 1, and that is the Serenity area. Now this is kind of a 2-for-1. Now don't get us wrong, we love Serenity. An adults only area is amazing. We can't enjoy it, so much because of course we have the little man with us. But we do like a good Serenity, and this area is nice because of course it has plenty of room, lounge chairs. You're on the aft of the ship, so you get the beautiful sights as well as the sounds of, the waves and the propeller, all that good stuff, the wake. However, this Serenity does not have a pool, which is definitely a minus, or a bar. So that's kind of 2 things counting against it. Now moving on to number 2, on the love side, we have the overall cleanliness of this ship. Now, all cruise ships that we've gone on are pretty clean. Some are a little bit better than others, but the Elation was pristine, especially, for being such an older ship. You're talking about coming out in the late 90s, I think 97 off the top of my head. But, crew were working very hard, very diligently. Again, I don't know if it's because it's a smaller ship, it's a little bit easier to maintain with the crew members that they have on board, or it could just be, management team. Whatever it is, they do a tremendous job at taking care of this ship, between the bathrooms, the hallways, elevators, any area you can think of was pristine at all times. Now, number 2 on the like side is going to be the casino/bar service. We don't spend a lot of time in the casino, again, because we have little man and, we like to see all the different activities that are going on. But every now and then when he's in camp, typically at night, we'll dabble in there maybe for an hour or so before a show comes on. But we had a wonderful experience at the casino. Honestly, we didn't win any money. I think we broke even on this cruise. But the bar service was amazing. We haven't had, that speed before. We typically had several runners, asking us if we needed a drink, if we needed a refill at all times. And we noticed them asking everyone else too, so it wasn't just us by any means. Also, the smoking in the casino was not bad at all compared to some other Carnival ships. I don't know if it's the ventilation, the cleaning, or whatever the case is, but it didn't really bother us at all, and Michelle is very susceptible, for that smoke. So if we're seeing somebody smoking, we typically will, move tables, move slots, or whatever the case is. And last thing about the casino that we really enjoyed was the overall size of it. For this ship, it was pretty massive. They had a lot of different slot machines, a lot of tables, some newer machines as well. So they definitely will have, whatever you're looking for as far as gambling on this ship. Now moving on to number 2 for the dislike side, and that is going to be the smoking area above the Lido deck. Now again, we don't smoke. We don't mind, of course, people that smoke, but we'd rather not smell it. And on this ship, it is, like I said, located, I believe it's on the port side of the Carnival Elation, right above the main pool. And a lot of times, if the wind is blowing just right, you're going to be getting just a plume of smoke if you're trying to enjoy, the pool or the lounge chairs around that main pool. Now, of course, on this ship, there is only the one main pool to enjoy, so it's not like you can kind of go to another pool because of the smoke. So we really didn't enjoy that. Now, I'm not really sure how they could fix that. I know on other Carnival ships, they have smoking areas that are kind of of tucked away, kind of closer to, you know, the back of the ship near the aft. I don't know if it's because of the size or whatever safety regulations. I'm sure that all has to do with it. But it is just one thing to note. Again, it wasn't all the time, but if the wind is just hidden right, it'll be pretty constant. Now moving on to number 3, the love side, we have the overall staff on board. Again, I don't know if it's because it's just a smaller ship and you get that more intimate experience, but we had so many times where they just went out of their way to, you know, make our day better, get us what we need. Of course, remembering our names, treating our son like, you know, he was the captain of the ship. I mean, just overall, they were fantastic. There were so many times where they took, you know, a good chunk of their time to just talk to us, and we absolutely love that. They work so hard, and to still be so, you know, nice and personable goes a long way and just made our vacation so much better. Now, number 3 on the like side is going to be the entertainment overall, you know, between the main theater, deck parties, stand-up comedians, and so much more. I mean, we could literally talk about this for hours on end, but overall entertainment was fantastic, especially for a 5-night cruise. I mean, they had basically a deck party each and every night, whether it was, you know, Rock the Promenade in the main atrium, the sail away party, we had the white night, the 80s rock and glow, as well as the silent disco, just to name a few. Our cruise director was Zach Dockgrill, I believe that's his last name. He was fantastic first time we had him. I know there's another cruise director on there currently, but I believe Zach is coming back. Wonderful guy. Hopefully we'll see him again. But yeah, we just had a great time with the entertainment, and we were always looking forward to seeing what was on, you know, the things to do, the daily activity sheet, and as well as the Carnival Hub app. Number 3 on the dislike side is going to be the lack of specialty restaurants, and this is one of those things because, you know, the ship is on the smaller size. They unfortunately just don't have room for specialty restaurants, but, you know, if you maybe don't enjoy the main dining room or you don't enjoy the buffet, which, you know, is very hit or miss in the buffet, there's not really a lot of options as far as specialty food goes. Now, they do have Bonsai Express, that is basically bonsai sushi, but on some of the other ships, it's, you know, a sit-down restaurant where you order basically a la carte, you know, whatever you want, they bring it to you. Here you have a very limited amount of choices, and they basically, you know, just give it to you, and then you find a spot somewhere on the ship to sit down and eat it, which is fine if you know, need a sushi fix, but it's not the same kind of concept if you're trying to, you know, go out for the night or whatnot. They also don't have a steakhouse on board either. However, on the Lido deck, you can get steak and fries. You can get a nice variety of different cuts of meat, but of course at a price, and you don't really have, again, that like sit down specialty restaurant. You're basically just eating on the Lido deck, so it kind of takes away. For us, we didn't do it. You know, I didn't want to spend additional money for a very nice, you know, piece of meat and then kind of just eat it, you know, without having like that quiet sit-down conversation that comes with specialty dining. So definitely, if you're looking for specialty dining, they don't have it on this ship, unfortunately. Now, number 4 on the love side is going to be kind of two things smushed together. We have the Platinum Diamond Party as well as the Diamond Brunch. We'll talk about them separately just real quick. But I want to know in the comment section below, what status are you? Are you close to hitting, you know, Platinum or Diamond milestone cruises? Let us know. Now, what's really awesome about this ship is you get, you know, the full experience of the Platinum Diamond Party. On the XL class ships, you basically get like one drink, red wine or white wine, and they do kind of a little show, tell different stories. But on the smaller size ships like the Elation, you basically have unlimited drinks. So, you know, you'll have bartenders come around with different pre-made drinks. You pick what you want. You could also have them make a drink as well. Like Michelle, for example, loves cruisers, so a lot of times, she'll ask for a cruiser when they come around with a drink. She'll kind of take one and then ask for a cruiser. And also, it was a more intimate experience, again, I think because of the size ship that we were on, but there was a lot less platinum and diamond guests on board, which just made it feel a little bit more special. But also, it was cool to be able to interact with, the officers, again, the cruise director as well. Not only that, they did play some games, which was really cool, and gave out some prizes. For example, they had a guess how much candy is in this bag, and then you win the bag of candy. They also had one with guess the cruise director's name, which we won, and then guess the ship by just a random picture. That one was really difficult, but we actually ended up winning that one as well. So it was a really fun experience. I'd love to see that on more ships. We've seen it before, I think on the Carnival Magic they've had it, and maybe one other time, maybe on the Carnival Miracle, but it's definitely not the same on every ship. Now, as far as the Diamond Brunch, this was absolutely unbelievable. What they did for us, specifically Little Man, but we would have loved it even if they didn't do any of this, if it was just the experience ourselves. Now, the last Diamond Brunch, lunch, whatever you want to call it, we actually had like a sit-down meal. That was on the Pride. We actually did it both weeks when we did the back-to-back. And you just basically have a set meal. You pick, your appetizer, entree, dessert, have a couple of drinks. This was a very much more intimate experience. You went in, there was probably 15 to 25 people. Of course, you had drinks, you could order drinks, and then they came around with basically hors d'oeuvres of all different sorts. They were very good. The captain came around, the senior officers came around, talked to us a little bit, and they actually realized that it was Little Man's birthday, so one of the senior officers took him to Cherry on Top to pick out a few items. They ended up getting like a stuffed animal, a couple pieces of candy, a hand sanitizer holder. I can't remember exactly what else, but they basically took him on a mini shopping spree, which meant the world to us and of course him. And then on top of that, the captain actually asked Rhett what he wanted to do when he gets older. And Rhett, depending on what day it is, of course, having the captain in front of you probably swayed his decision a little bit. But some days you can ask him, he wants to be a bus driver, a garbage man. On this day, he wanted to be a captain, and he's been kind of rolling with that since. So he told him, and the captain asked him if he had ever been on a cruise ship bridge, and we have never been able to take him because you actually have to be 8 years or older to go to the bridge on the Behind the Fun tour that me and Michelle have done in the past. And anyway, they talked about it. I guess the captain had to clear it with Carnival as well, and we got invited on the bridge for his birthday, and of course, because, he wants to be a captain when he's older, we got about 30 minutes to, ask questions with the captain, as well as the other officers, take some pictures, which Carnival provided to us, absolutely free. I mean, we would have bought all of them, of course. It was such a special occasion, and I mean, we literally I teared up, I'm not gonna lie. Michelle was crying, Little Man was tearing up, so it was just an amazing experience, memory that we will absolutely, never forget. So, but even with all that taken away, the Platinum Diamond Party and the Diamond Brunch were absolutely fantastic, and I hope they don't change it for future cruises. Now, number 4 on the like side is going to be Carnival Waterworks, which is really great on this ship. Again, for the ship being rather small, it's located on the aft of the ship, and you get like really great seating. So that way, if you're watching whoever that's in, Waterworks on the slides, you can relax, maybe read a little bit. Of course, again, you're on the aft, so you get all the beautiful views of the ocean or the destination around you, as well as this, the sounds coming from the ship, the wake and all of that. Not only that, this ship specifically has a great selection of water slides. They do have, I don't know the names of them, so they do have a larger yellow slide, more geared towards, a little bit older kids, kind of Rhett's age and up. I did it a great time. It's just a twisty slide. But what Rhett really absolutely loved is they had kind of middle slides that were racers. Adults and kids can go on them, so you can kind of race, your spouse or significant other, your kids, whatever the case is, just other, random people that are going to the slide next to you. And me and Rhett were racing all day. I felt like it was such a great time. Not only that, for the little ones, you also have basically 2 racer slides as well. Now, number 4 on the dislike side is going to be karaoke, and I'm doing the bunny ears or the quotation marks because it really wasn't karaoke. However, they did this on the Lido deck, on the sea days specifically, for way too long. They basically had guests get up to guess different songs, but also they had to sing it. I don't know exactly what was going on. All I know is it took forever. It was literally going on for like 2 hours, and if you have, certain people that maybe think they can sing but really can't, especially on the Lido deck, it gets a little bit annoying, especially for how long it was. Now, if it was like 30 minutes, it wouldn't have been a big deal, but it was so long, and me and Michelle absolutely love, the steel drums or the DJ playing music, so it was definitely a miss for us. I'm sure other people really enjoyed it, but we definitely disliked this. And last but not least, number 5 under the love column is going to be the size of venues and the overall lack of large crowds, gathering. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're trying to go to like the buffet during peak times, it's going to be a little bit crazy. But overall, this ship has lots of space, so it never seemed to be congested in most parts. As far as the venue sizes go, we felt like, you could show up before a show, maybe 5 minutes, maybe as the show is about to start, and you could still find seats, which you can't say about some of the larger class ships. Specifically, the XL class, you literally have to get to the venues like 25 minutes in advance if you want a seat, specifically at like the main shows, the Piano Bar and Grand Central, as well as stand-up comedy for that matter. But on this size ship, literally, the Piano Bar would open, there would still be plenty of seats. We can go to the main theater to see a nice show. We get there 5 minutes in advance, grab a nice seat. So there was never this need to kind of wait around for something to begin. You kind of just show up and you get a nice seat, which is such a breath of fresh air because, like I said, on other ships, it's just not that way, unfortunately. Now, number 5 under the like column is going to be how modern this ship feels, as well as the layout overall. Now, we've been on several Carnival ships here recently where even though those ships were a lot newer, they felt older, they were darker, their interior design was just kind of a little bit wacky and off. Now, this ship did go to dry dock pretty recently, so I'm sure that helped some with modernizing this ship, but it flowed very well. Now, there are a few venues on board, like the Piano Bar and Mark Twain's Library, for instance, that kind of date it a little bit, but overall, very refreshing to see. Now, as far as the layout goes, this is one of our favorite layouts as far as Carnival ships go. You can learn it very quickly. You enter the atrium once you board the ship, and you can kind of navigate from there, where's forward, where is aft on the ship. And also you can get to different venues and areas of the ship very quickly. There's also shortcuts, throughout the ship. For example, if you're on the promenade deck and you want to go to the Lido deck, there's just one staircase that you can get. It puts you right into the center of Lido. Super, easy to navigate, and we just love it overall. And number 5 on the dislike side, and this one was probably the biggest dislike, and that is going to be the bathrooms on board. Now, like I said, they were overall very clean all of the time. However, there were many bathrooms that only had one stall, and if you're a guy, there are barely any urinals on board this entire ship. Now, specifically, I know for certain on the Lido deck, right near the pool, each bathroom, guy and girls, only have one toilet. It's not even a stall, it's literally a door that locks. And if you need to go to the bathroom, it's going to take a little while. Now, they do have bathrooms on the inside of the buffet, but again, if you're at the pool, you're all sunscreened up, you're wet, you don't have a shirt on. If you're a guy, you know, you got to get all dressed up to go into the buffet to use the bathroom, and it's just not a good situation. Now, this is not just on the Lido deck. This happens kind of a lot on this ship. Now, I'm not really sure why this is such an issue on this ship. I don't know if people just didn't go to the bathroom as much back in the day, you know, when they made this ship, but it was definitely a big deal, especially if you have, again, little kids that, you know, can't really hold it and you're trying to get them to the bathroom real quick and there's a whole big line, you know, waiting for that bathroom. It gets to be a little bit of a nightmare. Honestly, it was quicker to just go down to the cabin and come back up, but again, that was such a hassle. And like I said, this was not just on the Lido deck, this was in a lot of different areas. Now, that is our top 5 loves, likes, and dislikes. Let me know in the comments section below. First of all, are you booked on this ship, and when is your sailing date? And then after you cruise, I want to know your feedback on what you loved, liked, and disliked on the Carnival Elation. I cannot wait to read it, and I also can't wait for you to either agree or disagree. Love to read them both. So anyway, as always, thank you so much for your continued support. Hit like on the way out. Reminder that 93% of the people watching are not yet subscribed, so please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It means the world to us and really helps us out. We appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you right back here in the next video or on a cruise ship one day. Catch you later.
I woke up with the sun today, rolled out of bed and said, I'm gonna have some fun today, and that's just what I did. The birds were singing, come outside, I felt giddy like a kid. If life is like a swimming pool, you know I'm jumping in. We got the perfect summer day, so put me in your plans. You know that this doesn't happen every day. So everybody clap your hands, 'cause when we raise on high, every hand in the sky, we're the super fans, feeling grand in the grandstands. Shout it out, make some noise, make it loud, soaking up the lovely weather, everything just comes together. I woke up feeling good today, my journey has begun. I gotta give a shout out to the green grass and the sun. It's a long way off, a tricky shot, but I know it can be done. Another day, another game, another hole in one, yeah. We got the perfect summer day, so put me in your plans. You know that this doesn't happen every day. So everybody clap your hands, 'cause when we raise on high, every hand in the sky, we're the super fans, feeling grand in the grandstands. Shout it out, make some noise, make it loud, soaking up the lovely weather, everything just comes together. Lift them up, all the hands, all at once, we're the super fans, feeling grand in the grandstands. And keep them there, all the hands in the air, we're wishing it could last forever, baby, put your hands together. The weather's just so fine, wish I could bottle time, 'cause if you only pause, you'll hear the crowd applaud. They're cheering for you now, stand up and take a bow. You know that you deserve it, today is picture perfect. Raise on high, every hand in the sky,